our viewers today. My name is Obaseki. Today we are having a very special guest all the way from Tanzania, Ambassador Mathew Uwaifo. Sir, can you please introduce yourself to us more better?
My name's Mathew Uwaifo. I'm the ambassador for the African Bar Association for East, Central, and Southern Africa. That covers 14 countries in those regions I just mentioned that are under my watch.
Okay, sir. Thank you for joining us today, sir. We are very honored to have you on the show. So today we are here to discuss about the APC primaries, the upcoming primaries. According to recent news, the Benin High Court restrains APC from conducting primaries in Endoses states.
That is a fact. It happened yesterday in the High Court in Benin that the court gave an order, a restraining order, that the INEC, National Independent National Election Commission, and the National Working Committee of the APC cannot have any elections in Edo for now until the main suit is determined. That is what the court said yesterday.
Okay. So what do you think will happen because of this?
Well, what should happen under a lawful atmosphere is that everybody will obey that order. The court postponed its next sitting to the 11th or 12th of this month, whereby the main issues will be determined. So I think everybody for now should go and rest and, wait for that day. Yes.
Okay. So right now, before this court order, Governor Obaseki prefers indirect primary, while Endoses was insisting for direct primary. So who have the right to decide what type of or what mode of primary should be conducted in the states?
Well, what I can tell you is that in a bid to continue with illegalities and acts of impunity which he perpetrated in a large scale during the last November 2018 APC primaries, the national chairman, Endoses, without conscience and sense of fairness and justice, wrote a letter to the Independent National Electoral Commission that the APC had decided to adopt direct primary for Edo State APC governorship. He did this 3 days before the meeting of the National Working Committee of the APC that was supposed to decide on this matter. Under normal circumstances, this immoral action is enough to remove him from office, because it is not just an infraction but a desecration of anything just and fair. The National Working Committee members are also culpable on that. It is important to note that the APC constitution did not define or explain the meaning of a direct primary election. Article 21, if it is with you there, Article 21 stated, is it with you, please?
Yes, sir. I'm going to pull it up now.
Yes, Article 21 stated that direct primary should be used in the nomination of councillorship election. Please note it very well. Direct primaries should be used in the nomination of councillorship election. The provision stated, and I quote, in case you have it there, you can confirm. I quote, nomination of candidates for councillorship shall be by a direct primary election conducted at the ward level for the purpose of this primary election, party members in every ward
Mm.
shall vote by open secret ballot for
Ballot.
the candidates of their choice where there is no consensus, provided that where a candidate has emerged by consensus to an effective position, a vote of yes or no should be called to ensure that it was not an imposition that could breed discontent. Therefore, that the we can say that the contemplation of the drafters of the APC constitution is the direct primary means allowing all card carrying party members to vote in a primary election. However, there are two issues that, unless addressed, the whole exercise will be subject to abuse and manipulation, which is the clear intention of the APC national chairman Adams Oshomole. First, not every party member can vote or be voted for. In Article 9, verse 3, in Article 9, Section 3, in law or regulations, consequently, non-financial members shall not enjoy the above rights. How do you verify under the situation who a financial member is? Given the clear provision, only the NEC, that is National Executive Committee, can decide on who is a fully registered and financially up-to-date member of the party that is qualified to vote or be voted for, including the mode of the elections of candidates during the primary election. Therefore, it is only proper for the National Working Committee and Adams
Yes.
Oshomole to subject themselves to the National Working Committee as the only constitutional body that has the final say on this issue. This means that to ensure checks and balances and roll back the sweeping improprieties and lawlessness of the national chairman, next to summon an emergency meeting and thrash out the issue once and for all. Second, to conduct a direct primary, the most elementary requirement is an authentic register of party members. Article 6.4 states the party shall update the membership records every 6 months and render such updated copies to the appropriate officers in the secretariat. As we speak, the national secretariat of the APC has no up-to-date register of members. The last time the register was updated was in 2017, and since then much water has gone under the bridge with the defection of some APC members like Atiku, Kwankwanso, Seraki, Yakubu Dongara, etc. to PDP, and the decamping of some PDP members to APC. As the lawyers say, you don't build something on nothing. While the absence of up-to-date official register of members is a dereliction of duty on the part of the National Working Committee, the insistence of adopting a direct primary without a register of members smacks of sinister motive to cause confusion and violence and manipulate the process to serve the whims and caprices of Adams Oshomole. We saw Pastor Iyamu, the person Oshomole want to impose by all means as the governorship candidate of APC in 2020, register as a member online. When did the APC develop online platform for membership registration? What is the registration portal? Anyway, it has since been proved that the portal that he registered on, the online he registered, was a fake online registration. That has since been proven. Unless Adam Oshomole has an agenda to weaken APC and lower its esteem before millions of Nigerians, it is inexplicable that he remains at the center of all parties' crisis that has engulfed the state chapters of the party since November 2018. From Zamfara to Ogun, from Imo to Rivers, from Bauchi, Adamawa, and now Edo, you can see his hand and his self-centered tendencies visible. Rather than become a unifier, has become the most divisive party chairman in the history of party politics in Nigeria. Because of the flagrant violation of the party constitution by Das Oshiomhole, the APC has had now become a shadow of its former self of 2013 to 2018 format, in which party members had a home and had to a say in the affairs of the party. That is no more. The APC is at a risk of losing its core, if it has not lost it already, because of Adam Oshiomole's ways. The APC is now at a crossroad. So what I'm trying to say here is that the party primaries should go by indirect primaries. That is what the state wants. And in the constitution, it says that the state shall recommend to the National Working Committee that the state shall recommend to the National Working Committee the sort of primaries they want. This is not a giveaway gift. It is not a gift. It is written in the constitution. And the National Working Committee will now make a recommendation to the National Executive Committee, who will decide on the matter. So the buck rests with National Executive Committee, not National Working Committee, of which Oshiomhole is the chairman. And to take it further, please, to take it further quickly, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, said before that Oshiomhole is asking for direct primaries because he has already redeemed the result of the elections, the primary elections. The result has already been written in his parlor. So he just wants to announce by direct primaries. Now tell me, under the COVID conditions, how you can have direct primaries in 192 wards in Edo State with everybody reporting under these COVID conditions? I believe Edo State lives is more important than any political shenanigan somewhere in Abuja trying to put the lives of 5 million and the destiny of 5 million Edolites in his hand. Edo State citizens' lives are more important. The best way to go is in direct primary. Everybody will converge at the Ogbe Stadium and vote. And talking about how that will take place, the APC Edo State already has a register. They have a register of delegates that voted in the last Congress. And the last Congress was just last year. So it can be updated within a very short time. So the best way to go, and what the state has said, is that the best way is direct primary. Just see what Oshiomhole did. He wrote a letter 3 days before the National Working Committee could decide on the matter. And the National Executive Committee is completely out of this for the meantime. So what I'm trying to say is that the best way to go is indirect primaries, as Obaseki and the state executive of APC have said.
Okay. So right now, what is giving Oshiomhole so much power to decide what mode of primary should be conducted in the states? Who's playing the major role here?
This is what I am telling you. Oshiomhole believes in illegality. If you check it, he has never obeyed court orders. The court orders have been forced down his throat. Like, for example, you remember in Bayelsa, when APC lost Bayelsa, Oshiomhole, the Supreme Court gave a judgment. Oshiomhole said that the governorship candidate of the APC will be sworn in the next 2 days. And that never happened. And there were jokes all over the place. Oshiomhole said, sue the Supreme Court. Everybody was laughing. How can you sue the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter in the justice system in Nigeria? So Oshiomhole believes, I don't know where that is coming from. That is why I always say in all my write-ups and in all my things, that the Spirit of God has left Oshiomhole. When the Spirit of God was with Oshiomhole, we know what he did. To be frank, Oshiomhole developed the Edo State. he brought development to Edo State to a certain level. And Obaseki not only improved on the development, he overtook it. At least in our Benin parable, in Edo State parable, we always pray that our son will be better than us. So if Obaseki did more than Oshomole did, and everybody is now praising Obaseki, is that enough for Oshomole to be jealous of Obaseki, like Saul was jealous of David, and decide that he should not have a second term? That is the issue. So Shomole feels as chairman of the National Working Committee, he has powers, but those powers are not his, because the National Working Committee, if we follow law, is not the final arbiter. And this is what Buhari fought for the time equally to he was running for election, went through all this. If we follow his political career since 2003, the thing he fought most and confronted most was impunity, manipulation of election and rigging and injustice. The president himself was a victim of all this. And here we have the national chairman of his party engaged in not only abuse of office, but is trampling the APC constitution simply to perpetuate impunity, injustice, just because he holds the office of the national chairman. That is it. That is how it is. And to put this quickly, I have
Yes, sir.
it from a very reliable source. Please, everybody in NEBO TV and everybody watching me all over the world, members of the Obaseki Shaibu movement, members of how they happen for Edo, members of the re-election of Obaseki, and all the other groups I belong to. I have this to say right now, and please tell the government of Obaseki what I'm saying, all the way from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I have intelligence sources that have told me that the chairman of APC is preparing to bring some people to file frivolous objections in the objection to the candidacy of Obaseki, of Governor Obaseki, in order to enable him to manipulate the party to reject his candidacy. And he's going to do this by attempted blackmail, by people shouting and focusing and saying Obaseki's qualifications and other forms of blackmail. This is a war. Oshomole has declared war on Edo people. And Edo people, it's time you wake up, stop your slumber, wake up from your sleep. This is the future of your chief member. I voted for Buhari in 2015, went around the whole of Edo State campaigning for Buhari with Oshomole. And for people to know, we used Fashola buses. Fashola sent buses from Lagos. And I was in like an officer in one of the buses. We went all around Edo State, Akoko, Edo, North, Eastern, Central, and South, went all around the place. And to tell you the truth, so far as I'm speaking, APC has conducted 73 primaries in its history since its inception in 2014. Out of those 72 primaries, only one was indirect primary, and there was a cause for that. 72 primaries have been indirect primaries. Check the record. Let them check the record and quote me.
And he
72
himself,
primaries out
he
of
came to work.
73
He himself.
has been indirect primaries. So to say that indirect primary was what caused the Bayelsa election to be lost is a lie. What Bayelsa elections to be lost was that the deputy governor had forged certificate. It was proven that the certificates were forged. So that spoiled the candidacy of the APC governor that won the election, because his deputy had forged certificates. That was the issue. Check it out and you
Sir,
will prove me right.
sir,
Let me tell you, my dear sister, to be frank with you, people who didn't go to school are the people we are dealing with. Touts, agberos, looters of the straight treasury in the previous regime, looters and beneficiaries of looting. Most of them didn't go to school. They don't know their left from their right. Tell me truthfully, can you forge a certificate from University of Ibadan, a university as as internationally recognized as the University of Ibadan, the first university in Nigeria? Can you forge a certificate from there? It is impossible. And moreover, the portal of University of Ibadan is there. Benin to Ibadan is just 3 hours if you are driving. Why don't people go to University of Ibadan to find out if they are so much in doubt at Obaseki's
They said it was not able to provide the document, the
Let me
certificate
tell you.
of his academic
Let
background.
me tell you. Let me tell you. That is just what I told you just now. That the APC, that the chairman of the APC has instigated some people to bring frivolous objection to the candidacy of Governor Obaseki. And he's going to do that by talking about the certificate and everything. How can you tell me that somebody who has been an investment banker, a stockbroker,
Yes.
somebody who Moshomole told us that all the money he used for the development of Edo were raised by this man.
Mm.
Somebody who Moshomole told us that he took people and raised 500 million for him to become governor. We have all the videos. So
Yes.
how come
He even told the Edo people. He even told the Edo people that Governor Obaseki is very educated. That he went to Pace University
that is
in
it?
New
He
York.
did
He
his
went.
masters. He
Yeah.
did his masters in
He said
international
everything.
finance,
Mm.
in international finance and economics in the US.
Yes.
And okay, even leave that. How come 2016 you praise this man to high heavens, and all your EPM? Yes. The thing is this: Oshomole throughout fought against godfatherism. According to him, the late Aneni was the godfather of Edo State. So he fought him and hated the Ishan people with a passion because of that. And that led to his demoting the Ojuromi and making sure that no Ishan was able to be Speaker of the House of Assembly of Edo State. Even when they were Speaker, he removed them, all to humiliate the Ishan. And part of this is scheme, I believe. He knows that 2024, it is now the chance of the Eastern to become governor. So he's trying to frustrate to make sure that if Israel Yamu comes in till 2032, who knows? But that will not work. It can never work. And to tell you the truth, this EPM, which is from their conduct, does not give credence to all the claims they are saying. Because I interviewed some of them during the time I was writing my write-ups. I interviewed some of them. And they told me Obaseki, they are not talking of infrastructure. He has worked very hard. And some of them agreed for the good work he has done. What is the problem? They say he's not taking care of members. Not taking care of members. Oh, Shomole used to call us for lunch, and now Obaseki doesn't call us for lunch. Oh, Shomole used to do blah, blah, blah. Looting of the treasury. So they hate with an unbridled passion. They seek every opportunity to pour invective on the man on every occasion they get, even if the issue does not concern Obaseki direct. It's gotten to a point where they must denigratedly link Godwin Obaseki to every thought process, no matter how uncorrelated. Their mind is filled with so much bile and malice against Obaseki because the scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So their own, what they are fighting for is their stomach. They are fighting to have the state treasury looted. And if Oshomole told us that Israel Yamu is a thief, Israel Yamu cannot be trusted with the state treasury, I wonder what will happen. And God will never let that happen. A lot of them, a lot
What?
of them are fighting. A lot of them are fighting Obaseki. But I read this in the scriptures. The scriptures says that your enemies will come at you in one direction. They will gather, but they will scatter. Your enemies will come at you in one direction, but they will flee in so many directions. And the scriptures also tell me in Isaiah 42:10, God says, my glory I will share with no one. So Oshomole cannot be playing God. He cannot, because God will not share his glory. And believe me, let me declare here and now, whether Oshomole likes it or not, Obaseki is the next governor from 2020 to 2024. Mark my words. It is sanctioned in the heavenly places. It is sanctioned by our ancestors. It is sanctioned by 90% of those citizens. The remaining 10% are miscreants who doesn't even know their left from their right. All they want is their stomach to be able to loot the treasury and go on self-aggrandizement. What Benin called gabu, 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 which they have failed.
So,
Edo State must move forward together. Let's go forward together. And Obaseki is the one that will take us to a new level. That is my belief. And I have told you, my dear, from all the blackmail you like, say all the frivolous accusations that you have in your book. Nobody has been able to come up and tell us Obaseki stole so so and so, or he took
yes,
40% so
exactly.
so and so. Nobody has been able to tell us. I
So,
interviewed all of them.
yes,
So what I'm saying here, my dear sister, is simply this. Their plans will fail because God is with Obaseki. And I've made a lot of examples. God is with Obaseki. And if you read the scriptures, it will say, like Joshua, he says, Joshua succeeded in everything he did because God was with him. Moses succeeded in everything he did because God was with him. Gideon succeeded in everything he did because God was with him. And also many prophets and so on succeeded in everything they did because God was with them. God is with Godwin Obaseki his way. But the point is this, let me just tell you the truth. Whether direct primary, indirect primary, Edo people are with Obaseki. Like I told you, over 90% of Edo people, they are with Obaseki. Because this involves our destiny, the
exactly.
destiny of our children, the future of our children. You come to Edo State now. I go home every 2 months. Before the COVID-19 episode, I used to go home every 2 months. And sometimes I get lost in Benin. Even my own area has been tired. Benin is having a new life. We can now raise up our head like the time of Obemudia, Ali, and other states are envying us. Soon, Osiomo electricity grid will be working, and this will supply. And let me tell you quickly, Obaseki, in the last audit that was done by independent sources, Obaseki has been able to provide, as at January this year, 157,000 jobs from Edo Best and Edo Jobs. And finally, my sister, you are a woman. There were over, Edo State was known everywhere for trafficking its women to Europe and America. Over 30,000 women were trafficked. But now we don't hear such news again because Obaseki handled the issue, went to Italy himself, went to Europe, found out the cause of the problem, that it was lack of jobs, lack of a future, lack of a good life, and he brought in Edo Best and Edo Jobs that has provided over a training for over 12,000 teachers. That right now, even in Edo State, a child that starts primary 1, after 6 months to a year, he can be able to read and write fluently. You understand? Because of the portal. So in education, he has done wonders. Infrastructure, he has done wonders. Agriculture, he has done wonders. What do you want this man to do that he has not done? And all this under 4 years. Don't forget, 3.5 years is what we are talking about, that he has done all this. So what I think will happen is this. The indirect primary is what is going to be sanctioned because the curve of the COVID is going up. It's going up. So if you check it, like in March, it took over a month for for us to have 100 people. Then after that, it took about roughly 10 days for us to have 200. Now it's taking 5 days. We already passed 300 infected people.
mm,
And the way Obaseki has handled this COVID issue, I tell you, is world standard. It even beats that of the American president and European president, like the one from Spain and Italy and all that. You understand? The man has worked, and we should continue, because let me tell you the truth, oh, we are
mm,
going to be in a wonderful life, because he has a lot to do. One good term, does it not deserve another? We say one good term, one good turn deserves another. But
mm,
I'm talking of term now. If the man has performed so well, if he has performed so well, according to what Oshomole told us he will perform, he
mm.
even performed more than
No more
that.
than that.
Is it not enough for Oshomole to be happy? Is it not enough for Oshomole to give the man credit, and to let him run for a second term? Finally, let me tell you, the incumbent in every election all over the world, in all democratic elections, is never opposed for a second term. Do you see the Republicans in America conducting primaries to select who will run against Trump for the American election? It is
Mm,
never done anywhere. Do you see anybody challenging Angela Merkel? It is never done anywhere. The incumbent, if he has worked very well, is allowed to go for a second term. And that is what should have happened. If not these shenanigans and all these brigades of no do good, eh? You go and bring somebody from the opposition party. In fact, this chairman has done a lot against the party that he professes to be chairman of, that is enough to remove him from office.
but
That's what I'm saying.
what Adas Oshomole's supporters are saying right now is that Governor Obaseki came to divide the APC members. That he is at the root of a lack of democracy among APC members.
Let me tell you, what lack of democracy are they talking about? Because when Obaseki came for the 2019 election, he consulted. They did consultation all the way from the ward level to the
Mm,
local government level to the state level. They did consultation, and a list. They came up with a list of those who should run for office,
mm,
and put his supporters into that list. But despite all that, the campaign for the state assembly, what was the campaign motto? Why? Because of the motto that people campaigned with, that Obaseki, a vote for the candidate is a vote for
mm,
Obaseki. And we came back with 24. And after coming back for the 24, what happened? The time to appoint commissioners, out of 18 commissioners, 20 commissioners Obaseki wanted, Oshomole wanted to appoint 16. And that made the
mm,
appointment of commissioners to be delayed till over 6 months. I said it
mm,
in my news channel that time, and I told people. They said no, it was fake news. This, but in the end, it became true.
mm,
Oshomole drew the list of commissioners in his sitting room. That has been
mm,
correct, and Obaseki kept quiet. Now most of them resigned. Let me tell you quickly why I tell you Obaseki.
mm,
God is with Obaseki, just the same way as God was with Governor Udom of Akwa Ibom.
mm,
You go and check. 16 commissioners resigned. SSA over 26 resigned. The House of Assembly over 8 House of Assembly members resigned just close to the elections and so on, to throw the state into confusion. But
mm,
Udom still won. And
mm,
Senator Ekpenyong today, who was the former deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State, that was sacked by Akpabio. He defeated Akpabio for the senatorial seat, and is the senator right now for Akwa Ibom. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: our God is righteous, and according to Psalm 1,
mm,
because I quote the scriptures, because I'm a Christian, I believe that Jesus is the savior. So I quote the scriptures because that's how I've lived my life. Now, Psalm 1 tells us, he says, blessed is the man that walketh not with the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor seated in the seat of discomfort. Who are the ungodly? The people who want to steal the state treasury, the people who want to loot, the people who don't want development for Edo, the people who only think of their own belly, stomach infrastructure,
Yes.
and damn all less. They are the schemers. And he says, blessed is the man that walketh not with the counsel of the ungodly. You cannot walk with thieves. You cannot put a rat to look after crayfish, can you? You cannot. So Obaseki, he refused to walk with the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of discomfort. And verse 2 tells us, and his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. Obaseki says God is the one who made him governor, and God is the one who will give him a second tenure. And then what does he get? Verse 3 says, and he shall be like a tree that is planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his own season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. That is why I'm very sure, whether Oshomole stands on the way, whether blackmailer blackmail Obaseki,
Yes.
whatever they decide to do, they will come in one direction, they will scatter in so many directions, because
And
Obaseki shall prosper. And then you go down,
uh,
he says, not so the wicked. Don't forget, verse 4 says, not so the wicked, but they are like chaff that the wind blows away. Then 5 says,
sir.
therefore the wicked will not sit in the seat of the righteous, in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the ways of the righteous, but the ways of the wicked shall perish. That is how we describe all this to you. Obaseki is our man. I personally love him, and I know he's not perfect. No one is, no one
Perfect.
was, no one will ever be perfect.
Perfect.
Only
Yeah.
God is perfect.
Mm.
And God says in Psalm 75, verse 6, he says, promotion neither comes from the east, from the west, from the north, nor from the south. Promotion comes from God. And finally, my dear, let me tell you this quickly. Go
Yes,
to
sir.
later, check your scriptures. Haggai 2, chapter 9. It says, the glory of the latter house shall be bigger than the former house. Oshomole is the former governor, former, and his administration is the former house. Obaseki is the latter house, the house of the moment, whose glory will be bigger than the former house. If a child becomes bigger than the father, a child becomes achieve more than the father, should it not be a
The
pride to
pride.
the father?
Exactly.
It should be a pride to the father. Oshomole should rejoice that Obaseki has worked the way he told us Obaseki should work. Not become a cog in the wheel of progress. Not become a spoiler of Edo's peace. Not become a stealer of Edo's serenity. You know, that is why I said that Oshomole has gone Sinai. He has gone Sinai. And the Spirit of God has left him. Quote me any day. And this thing, if Oshomole is not careful, it will bring him shame. Big shame. Did Obasanjo not fight Buhari? Did he not say Buhari will not have a second term? Did he not do everything in his power? We know that the EPM and all those have stolen funds. Israel Yamo has stolen funds. They all have stolen funds. But the Bible says, man shall not, by strength alone, no man will prevail, but by the power of God. So God is with Edo people. The voice of the people is the voice of God. And the people have spoken. We don't want another Boko Haram in Edo, and it will never happen. That is what Oshomole wants, to throw everybody into confusion. It will not work. Let me tell you, one thing I will tell you, my sister, is this. I will use Benin parables. When a man is drowning, he will pick at any grass, anything around to save himself, because it is a question of personal survival. Every man has the instinct for personal survival, and that is what they do. They will pull at anything to try to be a spoiler. And that is why I was telling you that no matter what they say about the certificate, Obaseki is recognized internationally as an investment banker, a stockbroker for the past 30 years. And nobody has questioned his certificate. I had spoken earlier about this certificate issue. It is a storm in a teacup. It will end in nothing. Now, to go to the Benin parable that I was telling you, they always say that I hear though you maneuver. That means you don't tell Benin any secret. But this one is not a secret. Let me tell you, Benin used to say in a parable, when it is getting very close for a man to go to and meet his ancestors, to go beyond, when you advise him, he no longer hear the advice of people. You understand? That is where Oshomole is right now. When a dog is getting to a time for a dog to die, what happens? He start backing at a trailer. He will back and back. He see the tire of a trailer coming down a hill. He run into it and start backing. And then the trailer will remove it from the road. If the Benis are quiet, if the Benis, some other Benis are not making noise, it's not because they are stupid. They are not stupid. They are not fools. Benis have never been fools. You understand? It is just that, as they say in a Benin parable, a man's thing looking down is not stupid. It is thinking of the number of children he's going to give birth to. Obaseki keeping quiet since to say the wake up and see governor was not stupid. He was thinking of Edo's development. And Oshomole tells us that Obaseki is burning with passion for Edo people, and he has proven it. So this question of certificate is just a storm in a teacup. It's vexatious, it's frivolous, and it is meant to distract from attention from the real issues. And the real issues is this: never again will Edo people go back to Egypt. Never again will Edo people make the same mistake the Jew made by asking for Barnabas. It can never happen. Never again. And whether they like it or not, I have said it again and I'm repeating it. Come November, Obaseki will be sworn in as the governor of Edo State for 2020 to 2024. It is not by power, it is not by strength, it is by the Spirit of the Lord. Mark it. So this certificate thing, it will blow and it will be like that. After all, Oshomole, up to now, does he have primary C certificate? Has he shown us? He doesn't have it. That's the truth. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, Obaseki is considered as one of the most educated governors in Nigeria. It was very surprising to many people that people are questioning his academic certificates.
When you are dealing with touts, you are dealing with agbero and people who have no job, whose career has been stealing from government house, stealing from the state treasury. What do you expect? People who didn't even go to school. Check all their interviews, check all their videos when they are speaking. What do you expect? They have checked everywhere, there is nothing. So they just try now to distract attention and say that this, and so on and so forth. Obaseki, after having his BSc Classic in the University of Ibadan, went to Columbia University in America to read finance and international finance and business. And he has a master's degree in Are they questioning that he has a master's degree? Are they questioning that? No, they are saying, no, University of Ibadan. They will always find a way to bring Nigeria down. And God will not forgive them.
According to the biography of Governor Obaseki, he changed the face of banking industry in Nigeria. He changed the face of banking industry in Nigeria. Such a competent, intelligent.
Listen, let me tell you, myself talking to you. I said myself talking to you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. I can hear you clearly, sir.
I said myself talking to you. I started my life as a banker in the 70s. I worked with New Nigeria Bank. I worked with Bank of and National Bank. You understand? And let me tell you also that Obaseki contributed in the formation of so many new generational banks. And I have the video where Oshomole was telling us about that. So, like I was saying, if in 2016 the issue of certificate didn't come up, the issue of he didn't his qualification didn't come up, why is it coming up now? And that is why I tell you those accusations are frivolous. It is just blackmail. It is to distract attention. It is to paint. It is to paint a pot black, and it is to distract attention from the real issues, which is the what is it called? The treasury will never ever again be open to looters. And secondly, we will not have a government whereby thugism, agberoism, kidnapping are the order of the day. Rape of women. No. Obaseki brought good governance, which we are proud of. How many times during these 3.5 years have you heard any sort of strike in Edo State? Teachers are getting their salaries, pensions are being paid, everything was revolutionized. So what are we talking about?
They said,
People who hated those states and want to take us backward to the time of darkness are the people talking that. We will not allow that. Thank you.
sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, do you have any strategy of supporting Governor Obaseki re-election?
Let me tell you the truth. Even though I'm in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, talking to you from there, about roughly last month and some other times, I was in Nairobi because my portfolio takes me, like I said, 14 countries in East Central and Southern Africa. Right from here, if you check the phone our people, you can phone your people at home and tell them, look here, I work very hard overseas, I send you people money every time, look, I'm supporting Obaseki. You people are there, you've been telling me about the good work Obaseki is doing. I'm supporting Obaseki. Phone your people everywhere you are, work. If you cannot go on the internet, you cannot go on Facebook, you do not know how to put, pray. Myself, every week I'm in conjunction with 500 of my friends scattered all over the diaspora, in Spain, in Italy, in America, in every parts of America, California, Houston, Texas, and so on. We have called a day every Friday. We fast for Edo State and we fast for. I'm calling to pray. Has declared war on Edo State. We should reject it. There is nothing Edo cannot do. So if you cannot do anything, pray. Pray to time to pray and the time to fast. And let me use this opportunity quickly. I will be putting it on my
Yes.
page at Mathew, at Facebook at Mathew Uwaifo. I'll be putting it on my page that other people should join us to fast every Friday, 6 to 6. So if you cannot go home to vote, there are so many things you can do to support Obaseki. Let people hear your voice. Let people hear your opinion. Don't start buying data just to look at ladies behind and praise ladies, slay queens on Facebook. Yes, on Facebook and internet. Those days are gone. All those women, they love money. If you don't have anything, no woman will look at you. So we are talking about the future of your children. So forget slay queen. Forget Nyash. Forget Nyash. I beg. Concentrate on the goodness of your people and how to move your people forward. That is what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, right now, in Edo State, this primary has been postponed. Let's just assume that has been postponed. So, do you think that Governor Obaseki will win the primary and proceed to the next election in November?
Now, if I have told you
Mm.
that I believe God is with Obaseki, and
Mm.
that I believe Obaseki will be sworn in November as the next governor of Edo State from 2020 to 2024, then I think I've answered this question. Uh, Isaiah 55, verse 11 says, "My word shall not return to me void, it shall go and accomplish that which I send it." So God's word has said, and I have shown you that God is with Godwin Obaseki. So I am calling on all Edo State, Edo lights everywhere to put pressure, even those who have connection with the leadership of the APC. Put pressure so that we can move forward, so that
Yes.
the development of Edo can be assured. Thank you all for listening. God bless you. God bless the subscribers of NEBO TV. So please keep subscribing and please supporting this TV station. God bless you all for listening. God bless Edo State, and God bless Governor Obaseki and his team. God
Amen.
bless us all.
Amen, sir. Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are very honored, for having you on the show today. Thank you, sir, and God bless.
It's been my pleasure. God bless you.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.